Good day, colleagues. Today we'll be discussing the Enterprise Risk Management Framework, starting off with a focus on the legal mandate as per the MFMA legislative requirements, how it is guided by the Local Government Risk Management Framework, and how it's supported by the COSO framework, the ISO 31000 standards, and the King IV report on corporate governance. Now, taking a look at the MFMA, the Municipal Finance Management Act, Section 62 requires that the accounting officer should take all reasonable steps to ensure that the municipality has and maintains effective, efficient, and transparent systems of financial, risk management, and internal control. The underlying intention is that municipalities should, through the risk management process, achieve the following: more sustainable and reliable delivery of services, informed decisions underpinned by appropriate rigor and analysis, innovation, reduce waste, prevention of fraud and corruption, unauthorized, fruitless, and irregular expenditure, better value for money through efficient and effective use of resources, and lastly, better outputs and outcomes through the improved project and program management, all in the pursuit of enhanced municipal performance. In the year 2021, National Treasury issued a risk management framework specifically tailored for local government to guide municipalities in establishing and implementing effective, efficient, and transparent systems of risk management. Furthermore, it details the roles and responsibilities of the key stakeholders in the municipalities. The framework is principle-based rather than being prescriptive. Municipalities and its entities are required to adapt the framework according to their specific needs and requirements. In all organizations, every decision made in the pursuit of its objectives has its risk. These include the long-term strategic decisions or even day-to-day operational decisions. The 2017 COSO framework introduces a different view to risk management by putting focus on 5 components throughout its continuous life cycle. Now, colleagues, the first of these components is governance and culture. Governance and culture stresses that the organization should establish appropriate oversight structures over risk management and ensure that it sets the attitude, behaviors, and values to view and deal with risks across the organization. Secondly, the strategy and objective setting component, where the IDP and SDBIP come into effect. The organization has to link the objectives outlined in these documents with risk management. The organization has to also consider the risk appetite to ensure that during the decision-making process, there is sufficient insight of potential risks or consequences affecting the achievement of objectives. Thirdly, colleagues, we have the performance component, which consists of the actual risk management process. This includes the identification, assessment, and actions on risks that may impact performance. Then following, we have the review and revision component. This area takes into consideration that the risk management process must evolve, adapting to changes in the environment or changes in maturity of the organization. Lastly, we have the information, communication, and reporting component that ensures that relevant risk management information is made available in a timely manner across the organization to ensure value add. These components allow the organization to have an integrated approach of their business model as opposed to having an isolated risk management process where risks are dealt with in silos. Now that we have gone through the 5 components, the COSO framework goes deeper by identifying 20 principles that span across these 5 components. Each principle is meant to represent the range of inputs needed for each respective component to properly drive the decision-making process. The first principle under governance and culture is exercising board risk oversight. This entails the involvement of the council and audit committee in the risk management process, focusing mostly on the guidance that it must provide, how it assesses the information that it receives, and how effective it communicates its feedback. The second principle is the establishment of operating structures. These entail policies and procedures, implementation plans, and other aspects that contribute to the achievement of a successful risk management process. A good example of this would be an organizational structure that splits risk management from the internal audit unit. Thirdly, colleagues, we have the defined desired culture. As we mentioned in the earlier slides, it is the attitude, behavior, and value that the organization wants to create in terms of its risk management activities. It has to determine whether it is either risk averse, meaning it is reluctant to take risks, or risk neutral, which is cautious risk taking, or risk aggressive, meaning willing to take on more risk to get potentially better results. The fourth principle we have is demonstrating commitment to core values. Example of this is the budget principles or the organizational mission statements that the municipalities operate by. The next principle we have, colleagues, is to attract, develop, and retain capable individuals. This is not only restricted to the risk management unit, but across the whole organization. It is extremely important to always have a competent team. Now, moving over to the next component, the strategy and objective setting, we have the principle of analyzing the business context. This refers to the current focus of the business. In our case, service delivery is always at the core. We also have compliance and a few other focuses. The organization must be able to develop strategies and objectives around these areas. Next, we have defining the risk appetite. The organization has to set the risk appetite and realize its value and its importance in the decision-making process. By definition, it is the type and amount of risk on a broad level an organization is willing to accept in pursuit of value. Then, colleagues, next we have evaluating alternative strategies. This just means putting all available strategies on the table and considering the most suitable for the organization. And then lastly, we have the formulation of the business objectives, ensuring that the objectives adhere to the SMART criteria. For performance, we have the following 5 principles focusing on the actual risk management process. Firstly, the risk identification, risk assessment, prioritization of risks, implementation of risk responses, and developing a portfolio view of risks. Now moving over to the review and revision component. The principles set below are assessing substantial change to the operating environment and even the risk environment on a continuous basis, meaning being on the lookout for emerging risks. And lastly, pursuing improvement in risk management, meaning striving for a higher maturity in risk management implementation. The 18th principle under the information, communication, and reporting component is the ability to leverage information and technology, which entails using available systems and technology to communicate efficiently and effectively. Then also communicate risk information and reports on risk, culture, and performance to all relevant levels in the organization. Then, colleagues, we see a flow of the whole risk management lifecycle which achieves the following. Focuses on integration, emphasizes value, links strategy, links performance, and enhances decision making. We will now be discussing King 4 and its impact to the risk management framework. Colleagues, King 4 was published on the 1st of November 2016 and made effective on the 1st of April 2017. Kindly note that King 4 does not replace King 3 entirely. It simply adds on to it by incorporating the concept of risk governance into the picture. The alignment to the framework can be seen in the following principles of King 4, highlighting that the governing body council leads ethically and effectively, ensures value creation, sets its strategic objectives, enables effective decision making, and has an inclusive stakeholder approach. Ending off this video, the Local Government Risk Management Framework is available to download on the National Treasury website. In the meantime, be sure to watch the next video where we will be discussing the what and why of risk management. Thank you.